So really quickly, what is the role of data automation in modern business, and indeed what is data automation? So for us, it's the use of technology to collect, transform, integrate and manage data in modern business. And we've added this kind of with minimal human input, partly because automation of data should be done by machines that are reliable and try and take humans out of the loop. But the key aims and objectives of data automation nowadays is to really streamline that data processing pipeline. So take away some of the unknowns around acquiring data from either your source systems or from spreadsheets or from other sources, and make it reliable, repeatable and consistent. We want to get rid of some of those manual tasks, so situations where maybe the Excel file arrives and then you have to copy from that sheet and pop it in another sheet and save that and put it in the right place on the file network. Get rid of all that stuff and take out some of that guesswork. And we want to build in some resilience around loading data from unreliable sources. We know things happen, networks fall over, files are in the wrong format from time to time, and so we can build some resilience around that so that just because it's failed on Tuesday, it doesn't mean the rest of your data pipeline is broken for the rest of the day. We want to improve the data accuracy and the consistency and really start to build the trust that the business have in the data and the models that you're building and the stuff that you're doing with your data by having this reliable pipeline and repeatable processes. And ultimately leading to that goal, which is how do we make the best use of our data and really put that into the business so that the people who are making decisions can be really confident and make good decisions based on the data. What is a data automation platform? Well, it's something that enables you to do all of those things. Typically visualize this in this kind of left to right flow of data. So on the left hand side you have your data sources. This is where your data is coming from, whether it's your core line of business systems, maybe they're SQL based or some sort of database, but also there's clearly data coming in from alternate sources in flat files, CSV or tab delimited or XML or any other flavor of flat file source of data. And also more commonly nowadays is acquiring data from computer sources, whether that's application interfaces or indeed web services, web APIs and so on, in a machine readable format like JSON, something like that. So we've got all these sources of data on that left hand side, and your data automation platform is responsible for bringing that data in and capturing a snapshot of it at the time, and then giving you the tooling that you need to then turn those data into something that's relevant to your business. So build out some domain models, so turn that source data into something that is contextual for you, and then prepare the data in a format that is then useful for what you want to do with it. So that might be business intelligence, so preparing it for Power BI or Tableau, for maybe pushing it into some analytics processing or stuff like that. Clearly there's a lot of reporting that has to go on, so maybe you need to get it into some dashboards, and also for preparing it to export it either for inclusion in other systems or maybe because you need to provide extracts to other consumers of those data. That's really what your data automation platform is doing. It's all about that load, acquisition of data and turning it into the shape so that you're ready to use it elsewhere. And that's where Bragi comes into it. So that Bragi is our platform, our data automation platform that we've built from the ground up. And again, it follows that left to right view. So this is an overview of what Bragi can do. So starting on that left-hand side, we've got all our sources of data, and we can load from virtually any type of file or source system, not constrained by file types or database platforms or APIs. We also add in some additional functionality to allow you to master business data within the environment so that you can enrich all of the data and have that consistent flow of data into your platform environment. We give you the tooling to then start to build out your models. So all the things you'd expect from a platform such as version control and change tracking and an audit, things like this, you can do, as well as then enriching it and doing complicated things if you need to, using say code components and other extension providers, and finally preparing those data into the shapes that some of your consumers of the data might need it. as well as an additional module that we have built into Bragi, which is to do things like tax reporting. So fundamentally, what is Bragi? Well, Bragi is a productivity tool. It is an accelerator for a standard data platform using industry standard SQL tools. So it's very heavily built around SQL as being the paradigm, enabling you to build faster in a SQL environment. What really happens though is Bragi really adds value when you understand what it does to take your data and really provide descriptions of it. So it's got automatic decoration of your data objects using metadata. And what that enables us to do is, alongside your data, is build up that catalog, that record and that understanding of your data. And if you do it this way, then you get all sorts of functionality and features from the platform. So we've talked about loading from virtually any source. So we support a very wide range of sources and data that we can read from. You can acquire the data and do things like change tracking and version control and classic data warehousing terms like slowly changing dimensions and star schemas and snowflake schemas and all these sorts of things. But by decorating your data with metadata, and that means understanding where it's come from and the changes that you're applying to it, that enables Bragi to do some really sophisticated things like data lineage. So you can see for a specific data object or a set of data, you can see where it's come from, the state it's in it now, and also where else it may exist within the platform. We can produce automated documentation of your entire data estate, so that if you have an audit request that says, show me where your data comes from and how it's used, you can create automatic documentation for that. Clearly, we're giving you some tooling around turning that source data into the shapes of data that you need it, so to perform the function that the business needs it in. We can bring in custom functionality by writing code to do any really sophisticated or gnarly manipulation you may need to do. And there is built-in environment control, so we fully support dev, test, prod, environment lifecycle processes. With the built-in scheduler, you have a set of consistent end-to-end pipelines, all built within Bragi, that allows you to orchestrate data tasks from across your business. Very quickly, Bragi is a software product that we've built from the ground up, but it's really grown over the last 5 years with lots and lots of development gone into it, and it's now used in quite a number of large data warehouse environments in a variety of use cases. We've popped a few of them on the side here, but genuinely it's a multi-purpose data environment. Bragi is a modular architecture consisting of mostly 3 key components, but this is all scalable. We have the user interface, which is a series of responsive web applications. So there's no fat client install anymore, and you can have that web application running locally in your environment or out in the cloud, wherever you want. So that's the first component. The second component is our scheduling engine. So that's the thing that ties all the pieces together. That's what makes your pipelines run and actually performs the actions that you've configured. It's a service-based architecture, so it's very extensible and scalable. And then the engine behind it is a SQL engine. So that is where we are storing not only the data that we're loading from your sources, but also all that really, really important metadata that really pulls the environment together. As a platform, it's very extensible and extendable, so we allow you to bring in your custom libraries. Maybe you've got some existing business logic built into some compiled assemblies, or if you want to bring in third-party libraries to help you do more in your pipelines. We've got a series of pre-built modules, so as we mentioned, the static data management and this tax reporting component, and we're working on other things like GDPR and other modules to really sort of bring in that use case specific use of Bragi, and then also a growing marketplace of pre-built system connectors, so hooking into well-known systems to do a lot of that initial work for you, as well as a growing number of data feeds that are available. Quickly on implementation, due to its architecture and the way it's built, it's a predominantly Microsoft stack, but that's somewhat irrelevant nowadays. But it can be deployed fully on premises, completely within your own kit, but also in a full cloud environment. So at the moment we fully support Microsoft Azure, with work going into supporting others like AWS, and also a hybrid cloud on-prem deployment as well. So you can put each of the components wherever it makes most sense for you and your existing tech stack and the infrastructure that you already have or you may be looking to deploy.